And we are back, so we did have an interruption to our stream right at the finish of the race. We did get to see D-Train get across the line. I'm not sure how long after it froze after that. My PC did happen to completely freeze and decide to switch off. I'm pretty sure Windows is probably wanting to do some updates. So we are all back on track, ready for the second session of round 2. We will be seeing a wet stint in the race tonight. So there's 17 laps across the mountain for the main race. Weather overcast, light rain to overcast. Game time will be 2 o'clock with mandatory pits. Definitely need to be seeing drivers head in for some wet tyres. I think they'll probably choose to stay on the wets most likely, as with the weather changing only to overcast afterwards, it will be unlikely that the track will dry up anytime quick, but we do have 12 cars on the track. They could start to dry up the track quite quickly on the driving line for most of it. The last corner, possibly not. There still will be a bit of a puddle. And I should probably switch this into full screen for you. That may help as well. We have 15 minutes for qualifying. Weather is overcast. Game time is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Drivers all scrambling out onto the field, and we've had Psychogency manage to join in. Didn't realise we had a race tonight. Oh, getting broad. Those tyres will be slippery. Very low track temperatures at this stage. I can't remember who's in the cash car. I think that was a 0. Yes, that is correct. A lot of cars quite close together, all getting out onto the track very quickly. So there could be some slipstream advantages to some of these cars, all nice and close. I think that may be Skiddy in the background. I'm not sure if that's Skiddy or Corby. It must be Skiddy. To get a little bit loose on that last corner. And again on Hell Corner, dive straight into that wall. He'll bring that straight into the pits. That'll be too hectic of an incident to battle off for a lap. Psycho showing a fair bit of damage as well. D-Train getting quite broad up through the cutting. He's pushing this car. Say 0 is in a different numbered car from last week, which is why I wasn't recognising this cash car. he's brought that car into the pits. And Rooney, Weaven, Corby, D-Train and Darkside are all strong contenders for the qualifying in the first session tonight. We had Psychogency qualify in 5th position for the sprint race last week. He didn't finish in the first session. I think he did disconnect, potentially. Oh, sorry, that was in the second one. So he qualified 5th and then finished 9th in the sprint race. And then qualified 1st for the main race last week. But then disconnected at the end. He did have some accidents that we saw him early on. So he could potentially see Psycho put on a pole position for sure. Weaven coming in with current fastest time, a 2:02. That's a nice time. In these cool track conditions, he's pushing this car. Unless I'm getting correct race speeds at the moment. He's had a 0 exceed track limits, so his lap didn't count. That wall hit for Weaven didn't affect his lap at all. May have just slowed him down a little bit. Darksider coming in with a 2:03. And here comes Rooney setting a 2:01.6. Darksider pushing that car, getting nice and broad through each of these corners. There's a lot of roll in that rear. Ooh, a little bit offline from the dipper. That's going to put him off here. Ooh, nearly makes wall contact. And there was a little bit of a lag spike as he was coming down there as well. He did have 12 on the field. Looks like someone has dropped out potentially. Dirty had bad luck last week with dropouts. Missing out on both races. Yeah, that's right. Weaven didn't get to miss the race because he was actually at the track for real. They were saying he got to drive around a couple of times. So drivers bring cars back into the pits. There's 7 minutes remaining. There's plenty of time to make a few adjustments and get the car back out there and get in some solid laps. Vert Wheeler showing a bit of damage. May have brought that back in though. Seems to be performing alright at this stage. Corby's struggling at the moment with the car. Oh, they're getting some frame skips. Okay, that's his Y as someone has this rejoined. So it was a 0. Oh, sorry, it was a D-Train. So he disconnected from the looks of things. He's back in. He needs to get out. He's going to probably maybe get a few laps in. Darksider also in there. Rennie improve his time? No. So we even brought it into the pits, making some adjustments. There's not much between our first four. Half a second separates the four of them. I think it will be pushing it to maybe see almost a 201. I think we may be able to see a 201.2. Current weather conditions, I don't see the car getting airborne coming off the top of Skyline, getting ready to head down into the S's. Darksider is pushing this car at the moment. This could see him move up a few positions. Fritzskenia also on fire, just coming in into third position. Flying as well. We saw him do rather well before. Big bang as he downshifts into third for the S's. A little bit offline, he was going a little bit too quick into the dipper, but he's recovered quite well. One to watch out for again is Vert Wheeler as well. We saw him qualify in 11th position with one grid place penalty as well. And then we saw him climb up into 4th position before an incident took him and put him back a fair few positions. So some brilliant movement up through the field. Like to see if he beats his time here. So we'll jump on board. This is a brilliant lap. Oh, and he's just lost it on the last corner. That's unfortunate for him. I think that could have been definitely an improvement on his time. He only had to break half a second difference to take second position away from Weaven. There is next to no room for any errors to get a golden lap. And then when we head into round 3 next week on Tuesday, drivers only get 1 lap. They make a mistake on that lap, cut the corner, invalidate that time. Oh, and we have had Rooney break into a 2-second mark. So beating my expectation of about a 2:01 flat. Almost half a second off that. That is quick indeed. Rennie is quite impressed with that. He's brought the car back into the pits. Kitty's just had his time invalidated and just come up with notice that he's headed into the pits, so he's obviously taken some damage. Quite quick through here. Bit of a wobble going on with the steering. Didn't improve his time. On offline there, we just had Psycho invalidate his time. He's currently sitting back on 12, so this lap isn't going to count for him. He needs to wrap this up quite quickly for this lap so we can at least get the next lap to count. Any incident requiring the car to go back to the pits won't see them have another opportunity to get a lap in. Oh, Bertie's pushing this car. Didn't invalidate his time. Unless, of course, my race feed isn't working. Oh, it's going to put him well off. Bertie is flogging the heck out of this car. He's driving it like he stole it. It's how these cars like to be driven. Swanee tops out here. The yellow flags. Someone has gone off. Almost 288, a little bit off pace. He may be sporting a little bit of aero damage potentially. Green flag's being given. Nice line. I think he could improve his 203.736. This is his last chance to do so. No, he hasn't. So qualifying is complete. We are on last laps. Oh no, and D-Train's just disconnected. He's rejoined. And also another driver, Hammer. Oh, he's left the session. A few of the drivers were trying to get a few extra friends to join in just before. Hopefully it's this old news for Mr. D-Train disconnecting that just came up on my feed. I don't know if this is an AI driving this car or not. No, it's not. I thought that was Mountain Straight for a moment. Colby's finishing up. Oh, he's just finished a lap. So 80 seconds to finish the last laps. We have Vert Wheeler and Fritziskenia out on the field. Oh no, Vert Wheeler.
Got
That
him!
isn't counting for him. It's up to Fritziskenia. It's got 60 seconds to wrap this up. Can he improve here? 202.144, and it doesn't update in time for me to see. But we have Rooney 9915 taking pole with a 2-minute 6:05. So 1.1 seconds off is Mr. D-Train Barbado. Weaven starting also at the front with a 2:01.780, a nice qualifying time indeed. So it looks like all 12 drivers have made it through. Hopefully we don't see any drop out into the race. So we're heading over into the race now. See if we still have 12 on the grid. Yes, we do. My notice of the train disconnecting is obviously a bit earlier on. Drivers have 2 minutes to get their cars setups all set, and also pit strategy set as well. Current weather conditions are overcast and light rain will be expected at some stage. The game settings having weather set to sync to race, that's not set as to when it will occur. It will depend on race pace and a bit of randomness as well. When it's just set to a fixed progression, generally it'll be based on the time of the race or by how many laps, so you can usually gauge when it would occur. So if there's only 3 options over a 30 lap race, generally after if the light rain is set for the second progression out of the 3, you usually see it occur on lap 11. So the syncing will put the drivers slightly off not to be able to expect when it is. And part of these strategies with the mandatory pit, we'll try and see if they want to try and battle it out on the slick still. Whether they start in wets potentially as well. And whether they do make a second. Oh, we just had one drop out. Someone didn't hit ready. Or, well, no, it was D-Train, so he may have disconnected right at the end of the qualifying. That's unfortunate for D-Train. He has missed out on the start of the race. That has allowed Fritziskinja to move up into second position. Oh, he's just almost made contact. Azuro's just gone off wide on Hell Corner. It looks pretty clean so far for the race. Rooney has gotten ahead already by half a second. Oh, Weaven is tucking in very tightly. We have Fritziskinja and Kakadu climbing in very closely. Oh, we've had a bit of an issue at the back of the field. Looks like Bert Wheeler has spun out. Looks like he's made contact with Corby as well. Doesn't look like too much damage. Not sure if Corby was allowing that position to return. It could have been the case. Blistering speeds as they come through the top of the mountain. Airborne by Fritziskinja, very quick, almost put him offline, getting ready to come down to the dipper. Got two cars back there, Kakadu and Darkside. Kakadu's also got some damage to that front end. He's had a big hit. He's had a solid hit to the front of that car. That's some significant damage. That's going to be costing him fairly early on over a longer stint race. Losing a second or two per lap will cost him many positions. Oh, Weaven has gone off in the chase. Can he recover this nicely? He narrowly avoids that tyre wall. Can he re-enter safely? Psycho just gets past him. That's cost him back down to 9th position. You have Kakadu catching it up on Fritziskinja. So it looks like he's trying to make a pass despite this damage. So whether there is actually damage to this car or not could be another thing. It can be issues where a lag has actually occurred. That we may actually see damage to his car that is not actually the case. We saw that last week. I think it was a qualifying session we saw, I think it was Rojo Gresh's car or Gitto's car jump around and end up in the trees somewhere and then come back out, and then there was significant damage to the car, but the car was not actually damaged. Darksider closing in on on Kakadu. It is the blue car behind him. Yes, I think it could have definitely been a strong potential for Weaven to have taken a win with how he was doing first off. Running off on the chase has cost him, but he's only 13 seconds behind and we will be coming into the wets. So if Weaven is strong with the wet driving, we could potentially see him start to climb up through the ranks again. Darksider looking to make an inside pass on the Hell Corner, but didn't get enough speed to catch up onto Kakadu. Oh, hey D-Train, saw you disconnect. That was some really bad timing. We saw your car start at the grids but then vanished as soon as the lights went green. And Darkside is almost looking to make a move here. Kakadu is starting to feel some pressure. Rooney not getting away too much ahead of Fritz Skinner at this stage either. Only 2.7 seconds ahead. Oh, that's going to see a slowdown request given to Kakadu. I don't think he'll probably abide by it, potentially. Definitely some steering issues going on for Kakadu's car. You can see him battling to keep that car straight. You can see it going down. Definitely fighting that steering for sure. Yes, he's having to recompensate a fair bit, and the car wanting to slide through the chase. But despite that car being wounded, he is keeping Darksider at bay. As he does an error here, a bit of a rear left lockup coming into Hill Corner. We've got Corby and Psycho. Psycho getting a bad line coming through that last corner. Tucks just in front of Corby, blocks him. Slightly different line. Psycho taking the middle of the track, not allowing any room for a pass. And seems to be getting away ever so slightly. Oh, that was... Oh, and he's just made rear contact into Corby's car, but that was lucky. It didn't do too much damage to him. Flip spin into the side of Bert Wheeler. That was some bad timing. Lucky no significant damage done to Bert Wheeler. Sorry, Bert Wheeler, not Bert. Oh, and an error forced onto Kakadu. And again, Kakadu has spun coming into Forest Elbow. That's cost him a little bit more time. And here I can see some raindrops falling. So it's raining at the top of the mountain. We're only 4 laps in. Expecting possibly around the 7-lap mark. So Fritz Skinner already diving into the pits. So opting to head in for the wet straight away. Will anyone else follow suit? You can definitely get a few more laps yet. So it's a bit heavier rain down along pit straight. And race leader Rooney 9915. Now almost 8.5 seconds ahead. Darkside has managed to climb back up into second position. So Corby also opting to head in, but he's also got a fair bit of damage, so it's a good opportunity to tend to those repairs at the same time. Fritz Skinner is already back out on the track. Psycho also into the pits. Not too much damage. That spin didn't seem to have done too much to him, luckily, from the appearance of that car. So Fritz Skinner in 8th position, already got wets on. A little bit slippery still, as they won't be overly productive just yet. He needs to try and cover some ground on those wets. And then it could see him climb to the top of the board. With only 30 seconds, it takes about 25 seconds for a pit stop. No damage, that was just with a tyre change. That's what we saw last week, so rainfall has set in now. Giddy still trying to close that gap between him and Kakadu. A little bit of running off, so I think he's finding a little bit of slip. I think he'll probably dive into the pits now. Darksiders, Giddy, Kakadu all heading into the pits. Also a Zero following, and Bertie, from the looks that they're all going in. They're finding it quite slippery. Drivers need to be cautious, set their pit limiters, they cannot speed. Look at the pit, there is a lot of traffic going on. We have 6 cars in the pits. Fritz-Skinny is back in, looks like he's taken some damage. Maybe they didn't change his tyres, if he didn't have his settings set correctly. So we have all cars in the pits. Looks like Darkside is one of the first ones out. Rooney still out there on some slicks. He may have even started on some wets as well, and that could be an advantage to him. Start the race on the wets and then use his mandatory pit later to swap back out for some softs. As being mandatory pit, they only have to do the one pit stop. But this rain could potentially stop after a few laps. Saw the rain set in the first 4. We're actually seeing tyres being changed. I've noticed in the other series it looked like drivers are only doing stops and goes. We didn't see them actually changing tyres. So we actually got the animations for it this time. And off goes a Vert Wheeler, which is skinnier. Taking a lot longer. I'm not sure if it's getting fuel or repairs. And Skiddy going off wide on Skyline. Looks like he's passing Bertie, who also did the same. So a bit of pulling water already on the top of the mountain. It did start to rain there first. We've lost another driver. Oh, and Bertie's collided in the wall through Forest Elbow. Bit of a buckle to that bonnet. Looks like this car is drifting side to side a little. Okay, making wall contact as we head over to him. He's right behind Bert Wheeler. Oh, wall contact again. Dirty. Oh, on the brakes quite hard. Bit of an aquaplane. Once there is a fair bit of pooled water on that corner, they can get up over that ripple strip. You can cut the corner. You will not be penalised for a slowdown. So Rooney's been into the pits. His car was floating a few inches off the track there for a moment till it just sunk back down. Looks like. So coming back out into 7th position. Oh, I don't think they've changed the correct tyres for him potentially here. Off in the distance, I'm not sure who that was that just spun out. I think yes, it was Corby. The wet definitely mixing things up here for the drivers. Looks like maybe a bit of sunshine coming through. You could see the rain potentially stop after a couple laps. Oh, we just heard several big hits. There's a sign out on the track. Oh, the wheelers. Oh, we've put that into the tyre wall. That's going to be some significant damage. That's going to be a limp back to the pits for sure. Looked like he had some sort of steering issue. Just the car dove straight into that wall and just no attempt at trying to turn out. Something definitely going on for Vert Wheeler. Bertie honing in on Weaven at the moment. And you do need to take a slightly different line through the chase, as there is a bit of pulling water, and you do got to try and let that car coast through. So we'll see if drivers know here you can actually cut the corner. But Weaven and Bertie both losing it. Jump on board with him here so you can get right up over that curb. Yes, that water just dives the car either straight off to the track to the right, or if you get on the throttle too early coming through there, you will actually put it into a spin. And Rooney's pit stop being quite lengthy. I thought he was almost going to head back in. Let's see if he cuts the corner. No, yes, he is doing it. So you can actually get the car up a little bit more than what he's cut there. And that way you don't actually have to slow down too much for that last corner. Psycho's head back into the pits. That front bar is flapping about. Needs to ensure he's doing less than 60 as he enters here. This doesn't look like he's copped a penalty. Vert Wheeler also most likely head into the pits. That was a very hard hit he had. We're halfway through just about of the race. Still rainfall. Very slippery through Forest Elbow. Zero just narrowly bringing that car back around. Still a fair bit of rainfall going down Conrod. Taking a nice line through the chase. We've had someone else drop out. Looks like Vert Wheeler. Rain claiming casualties. Yes, and he's slipping there. Driver's not aware of the cut by the looks of things. Oh, Weaven and Bertie both struggling. I do actually quite enjoy driving these things in the wet on Bathurst. And we've lost another one as well. Psycho has dropped out, so we're down to 8 cars. 3 have retired. This is what it was made for, the Bathurst Challenge, trying to conquer the mountain in all the conditions that it gives, being the reason why this track is renowned across the globe for its endurance races. Looks like Rooney letting people pass on Conrad. He's got a wounded car. Kakadu starting to close in on Darksider. The rain lasting out much longer than I expected. See if these guys make the cut. No, Darksider diving. There is so much water there. Darksider's gone off. Kakadu making the opportunity to claim a first position now. So Weaven make a nice line through there. He's learnt to cut that. Oh, we just had Corby spin out. He's brought it back in just in time. And Rooney, who was leading the race for so long, has fallen back quite a fair bit. Now being lapped, there is so much damage to that front bar at the moment. Struggling to bring that car. He's going to possibly have to bring that into the pits. That car is crab walking at the moment. It's like Corby looking to get past safely. Blue flag given to Rooney. That's unfortunate for Rooney. I don't think there will be need to jump in and change out tyres at this rate. We're now on lap 10. And there is still rain falling. Oh, slide for Bertie. Corby narrowly gets past, but it's now put him offline here. That might put him into a slide. No, he's recovered. Oh, Corby now playing swaps with Bertie. We have Weaven catching up on a 0. There's some heavy braking into the chase, a little bit offline. Doing rather well. Yes, he's doing the cut. That is the line you can take. A little bit off the line to hit that sign. But yes, that is the spot. 0 looking to block, but I think that may have actually just been him getting offline, recovering from getting out of that corner on full throttle. These three in the wet. Oh, we've got a 0 making a pass on the inside. Giddy was almost pushing. Oh, this is not going to be nice. One needs to give in. He's going to be going in too quick for that inside line. It's going to push him out to the outside. No, he's recovered. Corby backed off just enough for him. Sorry, Skiddy backed off. Giddy in the blue 14. Rooney's in the pits getting those big repairs done. He'll just need to finish off the race. I don't think he's going to be able to recover a position, unfortunately. Less than a second between these three. Nice line through the S's. Ooh, Skiddy making wall contact to the dipper. Nice line, all three. Weaving having a little bit of excess speed there, but ducked over to the side. The rain is starting to stop. There'll be 6 laps remaining. The track will remain rather wet with only 8 cars on the track. This last spits of rain now being seen. Nice cut. Not sure if Skiddy did the same. Definitely not, so it saw him lose some time. Corby and Bertie both struggling getting through there. Bitter spray still coming. It looks like the rain has stopped. This rain has now stopped. 5 laps remain. Every car copying a fair bit. Looks like Rooney off track again. I'm not sure if he's taken damage. Looks like some suspension damage going on again for him. Drivers starting to space out a little. Nice tight line by Skiddy. I think there still could be potential for Darksider to try and recover 4 seconds and get that off Kakadu. That is very tight lines indeed. Here, dry spots of the track. Oh, off track. Definitely had to move back over. That was a wild attempt of a pass, especially still in wet conditions. Four laps remain. So both drivers knowing they can cut there. Colby still not using the cut. Looks like Bertie has learnt it. Kakadu doing rather nicely now 5-second lead. I think he may be able to have a victory here, unless there's a mistake. Let us know if you think he will be able to maintain this lead and take the victory for the main race in round 2. Whoa, bit of wall contact. Ooh, Skiddy also making wall contact. Runs wide on Skyline. Can he bring that in safely? That's cost him the gain he had on Weavin. as Skitty seemed to be going quicker up the mountain than what Weaven was. Rooney not doing so well with luck after a brilliant start to the race. But well done to Rooney for battling through and not giving up. He's going to endeavour to make sure that car gets across the line still. Zero, Weaven and Skitty. Skitty choosing not to cut. Ooh. That's cost him a lot of time. That's very good for Weaven now. A little bit of pressure taken off seeing Skitty in the mirror. He can now focus his sights on a zero. He has a shot at taking podium. Dark side play quite well. We'll have a look at what last lap times were. Well, he's made a little bit of wall contact. You could hear that as he went past. We have Darksider with the fastest lap, so 203.994. His last lap was a 2:15.696 and Kakadu was a 2:15.373. So at this rate, he's not going to catch Kakadu most likely. But we have seen him make a few hits, and it looks like he may be fighting with that car a little bit, so he may have taken a bit of damage to the steering. Got Corby honing in on Bertie now as well. There he goes. Tidy pass indeed. Looks like Colby has a fair bit of pace going down the mountain, but a little bit offline heading into the elbow. That's now given Colby a good advantage. And Weaven still trying to catch up. So still able to cut that corner as there is still a lot of pooled water. Track drying up in a fair few spots. Lap 15 of 17 now. Weaving quite quick through that corner. Zero almost looked like he narrowly avoided wall contact. Zero's car looking quite well off. Weaven's car showing a little bit of damage. Quite a tidy race so far for Zero. Weaven starting to slip a little bit behind again. Weaven has made wall contact. That's put his pace off. He's lost a second and a half. Darksider now within eye distance of Kakadu. He did just have a bad line coming through that last corner. Needs to be able to cut that corner and try and cover that ground. Otherwise, I think Kakadu has this in it for him to claim the win. Between these two, Zero is 27 seconds behind the race leader. So it's up to Darksider to try and cover some ground to be able to put some pressure on Kakadu and fight for the victory. You may be able to see we even catch up in time to try and contest for a spot on the podium. We'll bring up his timing, see the difference between him and a Zero. Weaving almost a second slower last lap over a Zero, so falling 2 seconds behind, I don't think we're going to get a chance to see him potentially make that spot. And a bit of wall contact. So definitely a bit of fatigue would be setting on these drivers as well after fighting the cars through most of the race under wet conditions. The game having 3 weather conditions, the rain did actually last the longest out of the other 2. We saw Psycho struggling with the car earlier, Gallon, and really fighting it with it in the wet, heading back into the pits for a second time around, and then looked like he may have retired. So we've lost 3 cars, so there's 3 casualties. So Kakadu not fully cutting that corner. Darksider has not attempted to cut that last corner at all. He's just been taking it on full bore into the wet. So we've lost Vert Wheeler as well. Can't see who it may have lost as well. Darksider off in the distance. If there's a mistake made by Kakadu at this stage, Darksider could make a pass. And then yes, and the other car that we have lost was Fritch's Skinner as well. Oh, Darksider's made a hard hit to that wall. Didn't seem to put him off pace too much. If anything, it's actually made him quicker. He's gained another second. This is going to be a last lap fight for the victory. Darksider now being very focused. If there's going to be a pass, it's going to have to be done at the chase, I think. There's no room for a pass on that last corner. Well, there's a flash of the lights there. I think there's a bit of joshing going on between these two. Or is he going to pass him? No, he's sitting tight. He's going to try and force an error into the chase. There could still be some pooling water. Yes, a bit of a lock-up. Oh, and there it's done. A Darksider has made the pass, nearly side by side coming out of the chase. But Darksider hasn't been cutting the corner here. Unless he is now clued on, this could see him spin out. See, he goes straight into it where Kakadu went to go to cut the corner, but it's not enough to get around. He could have just kept going. This is a close race finish. Well done, Darksider, reclaiming that win. Kakadu just missing out on the victory. Almost could have potentially kept that throttle on after cutting that corner. And a Zero cutting most of... Oh, and he spins out on the last corner. This will allow Weaven to reclaim this position. Yes, it does. Weaven now moves up to a spot on the podium. Well done, Weaven, taking third position. Zero not fully cutting that corner and getting a spin. This will almost allow Skiddy to get past as well. That is close. This is what the great race is all about. Mount Panorama. Wet conditions. And a spin for Corby on the last corner as well. He usually tries to do that across the line instead, not on the corner just before. So 70 seconds remain to do the last lap. Here comes Bertie. Looks like he's playing with the car a bit there. Nice cut. Finishes in 7th. He's going to try and drift it across. Not quite enough. Well done on 7th position, Bertie, and well done to Rooney as well. Some severe bad luck through the wet section after a good solid lead at the start of the race. And not opting to exit out or retire. Decided to stay there and battle through. So it was a clean race overall. Only casualties to the mountain was for the wet conditions. And here we are across the line. Round 2 of the Bathurst Challenge has been wrapped up. We have seen Darksider come aboard and take the win. Also looks like he didn't take the best lap in the end, so Rooney 9915. So drivers monitoring there, we only had 8 cross the line at the end. However, there were 10 there, so they stuck around. Looks like Psycho dropped out though. We did lose him. Oh, Vert Wheeler, disqualification. So speeding into pit lanes. That's why we saw him lose it only on lap 6. So Fritz Skinner retired in lap 4 but did hang around. So we saw fastest lap go to Rooney 9915 with a 201.801. So that was early on in the race. So congratulations Darksider 6789 on the victory. Kakadu also on the podium in 2nd position. Weaven stealing away on the podium spot at that last section for the 3rd. Well done. And then the rest of the field, congratulations. That was some great driving on the mountain. Next Tuesday night, same time, 7:30. That'll be daylight savings time. So an hour later if you're in other areas of the country such as Queensland. Sorry, an hour early it would be for you guys. So we will be having a shootout qualifier as well, and then there is only just the one race, so it is a much larger race, so more of an endurance race to be seen there. So lots of potential chaos to ensure. Hopefully we get a full grid. It'll be very exciting, and then for these guys to have to do just that one lap of qualifying will be very exciting indeed. There is no rooms for error at all. So hopefully we can get you to join in for the stream next week. If you want to get involved in any of our racing, head to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Apex Esports League. You can follow all results there. Also head over to our group from the link off that page. You can join in and get involved in the racing if you wish to do so as well. And we also have a Ferrari series this Thursday night that you can get involved in. There are spots, so please head over. Be sure to hit that follow button as well, and then you can check out our YouTube panel for our past broadcasts as well. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully see you trackside next time.